Hey friend, welcome to Self-Transformed, a podcast dedicated to transforming your health in less time and guilt-free through the power of habit hacking. I'm your host, Emily Nichols, behavior change specialist, fitness and Whole30 coach, and Taco Tuesday enthusiast. Hey, I know the struggle is real when it comes to taking care of you. I too am a working mom who felt physically and emotionally drained, but lacked the time and confidence to actually make myself a priority. Creating habit strategies around my health was the key to help me finally create a consistent, healthy lifestyle that doesn't feel hard. I'm now on a mission to equip you with those same sustainable habit hacks to help transform your life from the inside out, guilt-free. Together, we will simplify your health into daily habits that don't feel like another thing on your long to-do list, but rather consistent actions that add up to a massive transformation that will stick through all seasons of your life. So if you're ready to habit hack your health and create your own self-transformation, then let's do this. You're listening to episode 150 of Self-Transformed. Hey friend, welcome back to the show. Oh my goodness, did you hear the big announcement I made this past Thursday on Habit Hack Thursday? I'm so excited to bring you something that's been on my heart for a while, and that is the new Habit Hacking Society. This is a new membership community that is launching for kind of like a beta founders group on June 1st. And this is something that my community has been asking for. Folks that have gone through my signature program, Self-Transform You, once they were done, they were kind of like, well, what's next? How do I continue having this accountability with you and continue pivoting when I need to with my healthy habits? And I was like, man, what can I do to continue supporting these women? You know, taking care of yourself a priority in your busy life, making these habits stick long term, thinking about sustainability with making time guilt-free. And I decided to launch this membership program. So it's a place to kind of take a big deep dive into the habit hacks that I already teach and apply them to your life in real life. So we'll be taking action together without the overwhelm. I've been part of membership communities before where there was like too much information. That's a bad thing, but with all the tabs over my head, I need it pretty simple. So with being a founding member on June 1st, you'll get in at super duper duper low pricing. I'll announce more about this in the next week as far as info and a webinar I'm going to host to give you all even more details about it. But this will be the price you get in at a founder will be grandfathered in for the rest of your life as you are with the Habit Hacking Society. But I see it as a place where we can do like a monthly planning party together via Zoom. We'll have a community group. We'll have like a challenge every month with something along the lines of creating a consistent habit. And really, you get to give me input these first couple months before I do the big launch on August 1st to really help build a community and a program that allows you to live your best life from the inside out, taking care of yourself in not a lot of time and guilt-free. So like I said, founding member launch is June 1st, and you get the opportunity to get on founding member pricing and give feedback to really help grow this membership community for lasting results for not only yourself, but for others as well. So like I said, we'll be having a webinar closer to the launch date of June 1st, and I can't wait to give you details, but you can go to a link in the show notes or go to bit.ly/HHS Founder. That's Habit Hacking Society. That's what it stands for. HHS Founder. It's linked in the show notes if you're driving or in the shower or whatever. And join the membership community. I can't wait to launch this with you and grow and be able to make healthy habits sustainable in your life and just watch you not just survive now, but thrive. So can't wait to see you in the Habit Hacking Society. You can go to that link and get on the wait list so you're first to know more details and when that webinar is launching. Okay, Couple other announcements here, team. Our next free workshop is happening in the free Facebook community this upcoming Wednesday, the 11th at 12 p.m. Eastern. Either join us live or for the replay. The girls in the community voted on talking about how to stop over preparing and just do the dang thing. So we'll be spending some time, 15 minutes or less, doing some free coaching and jamming on that subject matter together. And really, I love it because the girls vote every month on what they want to talk about. So I just don't want to put something out there and be like, oh, I hope this, relates. I relate to you, but I also want to have your feedback because sometimes y'all give me ideas and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that. So I can't wait to chat with you about this. I do it every month. So come join us in the community. It's bit.ly/self-transformed-fam. It is linked in the show notes as well to join us for this free workshop. I will be giving you more details as always on Self-Transform You, my signature program. It launches every month, and then May launch is happening on Monday, May 23rd. If you are looking to create a sustainable health plan backed by habit hacks, this is it for you. We are going to deep dive in this together. You'll do a one-on-one call with me, weekly texting to really grow your own health plan to help you sustain your own health through your busy life. And the beauty of it is you can go through the program over and over again and get any updates that I make to it as well. And again, in not a lot of time, promise. The thing that'll take the most time is just evaluating your habits that you already have, which is an eye-opening experience, and you take that data into your new healthy lifestyle. So if you want to learn more, go to selftransformu, just the letter u.com. All right, Supermoms, let's talk about today's episode. So I am so excited to have my friend Lori on the show from the Secrets of Supermom. She is an author, a podcaster, productivity expert, and she's just passionate about helping parents who want fulfilling careers or side hustles or passion projects. They want to feel present and connected to their families at the same time. She's wrote a whole book about it. She interviewed over 200 moms about their secrets to being a super mom, and I love it so much. We jam so much on this subject matter together, but I feel like there's such an expectation to be like super mom, to be everything for everyone, and like wear a badge of honor for productivity, right? And productivity, that is personal to you and what that looks like. And it's not so much like, look at me, I'm busy. I'm like PTO, I'm like getting snacks for the kids' game. I'm, doing this and doing that. Like, that's not necessarily a badge of honor to be like, look how productive I am. I feel like that's just like your own like pride you need to take in yourself and what you're able to accomplish and giving yourself grace for what you can't not accomplish sometimes, right? But what if being a supermom is just personal to you instead, and we just lean into our own superpower? So that's what Lori and I are going to talk about today. It's figuring out what your own superpower is as a mom. And first step is just becoming aware and then taking action. So friend, get a pen and paper handy. Get ready to take some notes. You want to make sure to stick around to the end of the episode as well, where I always share my 3 biggest takeaways, cliff notes, if you will, from this conversation. So let's dig into it. All right, gang. I am so excited to welcome to Self-Transform today, Lori Oberbroeckling. She is from the Secrets of Supermom podcast. I can't wait to dig into this conversation. Lori, thank you so much for coming on the show.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yay. So many crossovers that we've already realized about each other as well. I can't wait to dig into this and have you all hear it today too. But Lori, first question I ask every single guest is, what comes to mind when you hear the phrase self-transformed?
Yeah. So when I think of it, I think something inside you shifted and that made all the difference. So for me, just whatever it is, something inside shifted and it made all the difference. It changed everything.
Yeah, I love that shift. And everyone feels that. I was actually just on a call with someone else this morning and I was like, I feel this shift happening. And they were like, yeah, I know what you mean. And I think everyone could really click with what you're saying there for sure.
Yes.
Well, Lori, can you share a little bit about your own transformation story, kind of where you've been and what you do now and who you are today?
Absolutely. So as far as the, Secrets of Supermom, I wrote a book in the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, really because I realized that moms were struggling, right? Because of COVID, because of all of the things that kind of fell on their shoulders, parents and moms especially. And so I met, surveyed, interviewed almost 200 moms and learned some things that were really working for them and some things that weren't working for them, and kind of distilled it all down into these 16 secrets. And so that's what is in the book, Secrets of Supermom. And so from there, we said, okay, we could actually take this a lot further and reach more moms, because moms are busy. Not all moms read books. And so we started the podcast a few months later, and that's where the Secrets of Supermom show was born. And so we talk a lot about the same topics, some of those secrets that really help moms thrive versus drown. And so before that, really sort of me feeling like a supermom, I definitely felt like a supermom before those days, right? And I felt like so many of the strategies that I was using were really helping me not thrive during COVID. I wouldn't say that, but certainly feel stronger and feel more together than some of my friends or some of the moms that I had the pleasure of talking to. So I think that a lot of those things came from some of what I know we said we were going to talk about today, which is changes in health, changes in eating patterns, and really being able to thrive inside my body so that I could thrive outside my body.
That's good.
Yeah. So I had tried lots of diets. I had done many, many things for many, many years and been never hugely overweight, but always fluffy is what I would describe it. Right. So never really a thin human. And that was never really a huge deal for me, but always felt like I should be a less fluffy human. And so I had tried all sorts of things, and I was going back to work with I had 4 children. So I was going back to work and with my fourth, after my fourth, and I thought, oh my, I need to really dial in this supermom. I need to feel like a supermom is what I said to myself in my head. And when I had heard about the Whole30, and all of a sudden they started talking about all of these things that were not about weight loss. They were not about getting skinny. They were about feeling tons more energy. They were about feeling like your mind was clear. They were about feeling like you could do more in a day than most people did in a week, right? Like these kind of things that they were saying. And I was like, that is how I want to feel. That's what I need. And so I thought, I'm going to try it. And I had heard of the Whole30 before and thought it sounded terrible, just so you know. I thought, oh, ew, like I'm not going to eat like that. But then when the whole message was twisted for me, and really it was about how I was going to come out really just feeling amazing, I thought, okay, I'm going to try it. So, my kiddo is I have a baby. I have 3 bigger kids. My husband travels every week. I have 3 drop-offs and pickups, a full-time job that's very demanding. And I thought, I'm just going to try this. And holy moly, they were right. Everything that's listed in these non-scale victories was exactly what I felt after that. And it was a game changer for me, because it was the first time that I really saw very clearly that food and the way I move my body can change everything. Mm-hmm. And that changed everything for me. And so I was able to do so much more than I could before. Even though I was getting so much done before, I felt less stress about it. I felt like I was just in my mind more organized. So I was able to be more organized in all the activities that I was doing. It changed everything. And I wanted, so I started sharing with people, and they're like, what are you doing? And so I was telling people about, I'm not a coach. I'm not any of the, I'm not a health coach. I'm not any of these things. I just was sharing my story. And similarly, I've shared my story in Secrets of Supermom, but it's just that when you find something that just changes things so much for you, you want everyone to know, and you want everyone to feel that way too.
Lori, I'm so excited to hear this story, because being a Whole30 certified coach, and Whole30 is what changed my life and started me down this big transformation story back in 2015. And you're right. Like, people notice, especially other moms. They're like, girl, what are you doing? I know you're being productive, but you don't seem like super stressed about it. Like, you seem like energetic, all those non-scale victories that you were talking about. So it's interesting. I'm sure there was a big snowball effect that happened for you from there, right?
It was unbelievable because I could do so much. Like I always wanted to do so much. And I always did do a lot, but there were times when I was really stressed out by it. And I just felt so much less of that stress, and I could still do all the things I wanted to do because I wanted to hang out with my kids, and I wanted to climb the career ladder, and I wanted to have them in a million activities that they wanted to be in. I wanted to be able to do all these things because all of it brought me joy, but sometimes it brought me too much stress. Mm-hmm. And this just changed it. And I didn't. That stress really kind of melted away, and I was able to manage it so much better. And yeah, it was just, it felt so good.
That's awesome. What year did you do the whole 30?
It was 2017.
2017.
I think. Yeah. Okay. I think end of 2016, beginning of 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. So I have to ask you, is, taking care of your health and the way you eat one of the secrets of being a super mom?
Health is one of the secrets.
Yes!
It totally is. Yes.
Totally.
It's one of the secrets in the book. So we talk about a number of things. We talk about eating, and I do tell a little bit of my whole 30s story in there. We talk about moving your body. We talk about water. We talk about sleep. We talk about all of the things that as a group help your body to thrive. But without that, when you take that piece out, everything is harder. Everything else becomes harder. And so we can see by the data that the women that are focusing on those things, not to be skinny, not to be like the buffest girl in the room, not to have the best abs, none of those things. The ones that are focusing on how does this make me feel? Do I do things that make me feel strong and energized, or do I do things that don't? The women that are focused on things that make them feel strong and energized are elevated in all the other areas.
I love
they
that
really
so
are.
much. Yeah, some of those things that you just listed that are part of like a daily 5, like micro habit list or keystone habit list I give to all of our clients when they go through our program. It's just like some small wins over time. And when you think about it, it's just taking care of your basic needs, which a lot of times we aren't doing, right?
I know. And well, especially as busy moms, we let that go first. Mm-hmm. We say, well, that's just for me. All these other things that on my list are for my team, or they're for my husband or my spouse or my partner. They're for my children. They're for my my overall family. They're for my community. We put all those things before us, and we think, oh, my workout, my healthy eating habits, me drinking enough water today, that's just for me. But it's not just for you. And we can see it. We can see it in the research. It's not. When you are better, you give better. And so everybody gets better from you. It's just a giant snowball.
Everyone reaps the benefits. Like I think my kids sometimes are like, Mom, like go for a walk or something. Like go do something that you love, please. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. So I'm so interested in some of the data that you learned from all the women that you surveyed. I'm sure that was really fun getting to talk to them and really inspirational, motivational for you in writing the book and whatnot. But what were maybe some of the key superpowers that you saw other than health that we just talked about that could really help a woman listening today thrive as a busy working mom?
Yeah. The first 4 chapters are the key habits. So I'll tell you guys just a few of those.
Sure.
So one is actual habits. So putting routines and systems in place. It doesn't mean you have to be terribly structured, painfully structured, because I know a lot of moms push back on that. But having some sort of habit, whether it is a routine in the morning, a routine in the evening, a getting home from school routine, for your children and for you, whatever those things are, putting those systems into place, those routines into place, helped moms say, okay, we do the same thing every day. So I don't have to think about this. I don't have to put mental effort into this. And taking that mental effort away allowed mental effort for other things. It allowed you not to waste all your willpower and your stress level on doing the same thing every day and changing that up all the time. It allowed you not to waste it. So you had it for those bigger, better, more important things, whether you were starting a business or whether you were, starting a new project with a team, or whether you were just homeschooling and trying not to, drown, right? Whatever that was. And so those habits were really, really critical.
Yeah, totally. So if someone listening today is feeling like, okay, I can't find my cape, I am not feeling like a super mom, what would you suggest for them to do to
find what their superpower is as a mom? Because I feel like we all have our own strengths as moms as well. But what would you say to a listener to find their own superpower?
Yeah, I have a couple of things. One, I actually have a quiz that is, you can find your superpower.
Oh, awesome.
You can take it right on my website. It is at secretsofsupermom.com. So you can totally go there, grab the quiz, and you can find out your superpower. But if you don't do that, I think that really it is about thinking about what comes easy for you that doesn't come easy for everyone. What are you just like, why doesn't everyone do it like this? Because everybody has that thing. Maybe it's organization, maybe it's productivity, maybe it's meal planning, maybe it's doing goofy things with your children, whatever these things are. Everybody has that thing that's like, man, why is that so hard for people? It's so easy for me. That is your superpower.
Hey gang, cutting into this conversation real quick to share our amazing partner, Athletic Greens. So I started taking their AG1 because I wanted to optimize my health even more, but I was having a hard time making the habit of taking so many supplements. And as we talk about here all the time, if you aren't enjoying a habit, then simplify it. And AG1 was the answer for me. It's seriously like 9 health products in one. So AG1 has 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. It's a special blend of ingredients that supports your gut health, nervous system, immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, aging, just all the things. And what I really like about AG1 is that it's lifestyle friendly. So whether you eat paleo, vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free, it can fit your lifestyle. And I love that it contains less than 1 gram of sugar and still tastes amazing. It tastes super fresh and not earthy like other nutritional drinks I've tried in the past. So drinking AG1 every day has been a major keystone habit in my health. I have stacked it onto my already established morning habits consistently over the past month, and it has helped me so much with my energy levels. It's helped with my recovery from my workouts and even my digestion. It's so much easier than trying to take a bunch of supplements. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's seriously it. So if you're wanting to give this super simple, convenient daily nutrition a try, Athletic Greens has made this very simple for you. They're going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs, which I never travel without now myself, with your first purchase of AG1. And y'all, it comes in the cutest canister to store your powder in and a bottle to easily measure out your water with a scoop. You'll love it. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/self-transformed. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/self-transformed to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. I can't wait to hear how you love your AG1 too. Let's get back to the show.
I love that. Yeah, that automatically thinks of like my group of girlfriends. Like, I obviously focus on like, why is working out so hard? It's just, part of my everyday life. I have a friend that is like a super like very she keeps such a tidy house. Like it looks like a show home when you walk in, like children don't live there. Or we have some that are really good at planning things and like detail oriented and stuff. And I'm like, well, those aren't my superpowers, but I can rely on them or, glean some of what they're doing and apply it towards my everyday life too.
Yes. And isn't it beautiful when you can build that tribe of people that has different superpowers than you and lean on them, and then they get to lean on you, and that just feels amazing.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of working moms in particular, sometimes we can fall into the trap of comparison. Like I could look at one of my girlfriends and be like, oh my gosh, her home is so immaculate. And I'm like embarrassed to have anyone step inside my house with 2 boys and 2 dogs and a husband and then me. How do we, get out of that trap of comparison, or even the mom guilt that comes like, oh, I feel so guilty. I can't keep up with the house. How would you help someone overcome that?
Yeah, we talk about that in the book too. If you can imagine, we talk about it's actually within the confidence area, because we want to feel confident from within. We want to feel confident that we can hit a challenge and we can make it through, right? That we're going to be able to do it. And comparing, jealousy, that mom guilt, all of those are enemies of that confidence. That tears that confidence down. So what I always tell people is, if you're feeling that comparison, if you're feeling some level of jealousy towards someone else, towards another mom, towards another group of moms, really stop, pause, and say, what's this about? What is it that you're comparing? because you probably don't want their life, right? Like you probably don't want to take their whole life. There's probably something in there that you wish that you had. And then if it's something that you do wish that you had, are you willing to do what that person did to get what they have, right? To get that thing. So maybe it's somebody gets promoted a lot at work and you're like, I want to be promoted a lot at work. Am I willing to do the things that it takes to get promoted where I work? If the answer is yes, then get to it. Let's do this, right? Like, let's get going on whatever the plan is, because then I don't have to compare myself to the other people because I'm living the life that I want to live. Mm-hmm. And if the answer is no, maybe, we're talking, Emily, and you are telling me your workout plan. And I'm like, oh, no, I will not do that level of workout. Right. Or maybe I will. I mean, it just depends. Right. But if I'm like, no, then comparison, game over. I don't need to be comparing because I'm not willing to put in the level of effort that you're willing to put in to have the, to reach the goals that you're reaching. And so now it's just a matter of saying, okay, I'm only willing to do this. So this is what I'm going to get. And that I am happy enough with that, whether that's body, whether that's career, whether that's relationships, whatever it is.
Yeah. That takes some internal work to be like, okay, why am I comparing myself? Why am I feeling guilty or feeling like I'm lacking in a certain area compared to another mom? I also feel like it's a learning opportunity too, to be like, hey girl, what are you doing to get promoted at work so much? I would love to learn from you if they're happy to let you pick their brain, which most women would be usually in most cases, to be like, well, hey, what are you doing? And like you said, if you learn from them, like, oh man, like they're working till like 8 p.m. every night and like shooting emails out late after, at kids' activities and whatnot. That's not for me. That's not what I want to pursue in my life, right?
Exactly. And when you do that deeper dive, right, that deeper dig even in with someone else and say, okay, that's actually not what I want for my life. That's a boundary that I've already set, right? That's my family time. That's my personal time, whatever it is. Then you will often find that you don't even need to push that comparison and jealousy away. It just goes away because you realize all that's required to get there. And you don't, and you're not willing to do it. And then like I said, if you are, awesome. Now you know exactly what the path is and you just have to get started. And so that it's a lot easier to either stop or get started than it is to spin in that comparison and jealousy, because that's just painful and it's not getting you anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I think we could all relate to some type of thing where someone's like, oh, well, I did this. And you're like, oh, no. And automatically that feeling goes away. Like, no, thank you.
Never mind.
Yeah. But if it's pushing, like, oh, well, I could do that, or I can incorporate some of those habits, that could be, something worth exploring and letting go of that feeling, feeling for sure. We've been talking a lot the month of February in our self-transformed community about balance, and now how it's almost seen as like a naughty, like 4-letter word sometimes, because it's like balance is not attainable. And I think it's more about feeling balance more so than like the things you do. There has to be some strategy around it, but the way I feel about balance is different than like the way you feel about about a balanced life as well. But what would you say to a woman listening today that is just like, I cannot find the balance and I don't feel happy, because a lot of times that can just weigh on you. I mean, physically, just doing all the things and running all the places, it wears on you physically, but over that time that feels mentally just very overwhelming, being in a place of imbalance. So how would you help a woman overcome that? Even just some simple habit strategies that they could do daily to help them through that.
Yeah, I think when we feel overwhelmed, when we feel out of balance, we often don't know what we're actually doing. So one of the things is I really recommend a time tracker. I don't know if you guys use that in your community, but
we do a habit inventory.
Yes. Yeah. So tracking what actually you're doing in your day. So you start to realize, if you track for 2 or 3 days, you realize, I'm spending a lot of time doing whatever it is. We all have our time wasters, right? Mm-hmm. And some of those things are actually making you feel out of balance because they're not bringing you joy. They're just wasting your time. And so being able to really take a really solid look at about where your time is helps you say, okay, now I can take a step back. And am I spending the time that I want with my family? Am I spending the time that I want building a career? Am I spending the time that I want doing things that I love? And if the answer is no, or the answer is, I don't even know what I love, and there's definitely not anything on my list, my other thing that I love to do is to make a happiness list. And that's truly a list of all things big and small that make you happy, and working at least one tiny thing in every single day.
I love the happiness list. That's such an easy tool to just sit down and implement and write. And that might be a little big eye opener for you too. It's like, well, what is making me happy?
So, and that is, I've had presentations that I've done to moms, and they've said, what if I don't know what makes me happy?
Yeah.
And I mean, they're so far, no wonder you don't feel balanced. You definitely aren't doing anything that makes you feel happy if you can't even think of one thing to put on your list. So yeah, really just taking that step back and say, okay, this is my life. I want to live every day feeling beautiful and amazing. And I can only do that if I know where I'm spending my time and if I intentionally put in things that I love.
Yes, I love that. Like I said, we do a habit inventory where we have our girls go through and write down every single thing they do in a day. And I had one client go, she goes, I showed it to my family, everything I do in a day. She goes, and it really helped me set some boundaries and ask for help too. Cause she's like, even her kids were like, oh my gosh, mom, like, look at all the things you do within the day. And they're like, can I help you make dinner? Or, like here at our family, we started ordering like HelloFresh meal kits, and my kids are helping make dinner because it's a really easy, simple system to follow. And they're old enough to do that now. And it's fun doing it together, or me being like, to my almost 14-year-old, like, hey buddy, can you make dinner? And I'm like, yes, you can. And that helps
I know.
so much. But, having that data about yourself and sharing it with your family, I think will relieve some of that guilt too, because you feel like you have to do it all, or it'll take too long for me to explain it to someone else to do it because they won't do it the right way. But it's so freeing to set those boundaries and figure out where those time wasters are and where you can ask for help.
It really is. And I love from a parenting perspective, because, in our community, we talk about parenting too. I love that you're saying that you're getting your kiddos to help with things, because that gives them the chance to feel confident about making a dinner all by themselves. I mean, how amazing is that? It gives them the chance to take that responsibility and be able to do those things independently, because that then allows them to be strong teens, strong adults, right? Oh, yeah. We want our children to grow to be amazing and independent and be able to do all the things that they need to do to thrive as adults when they leave our nest. So I love that.
So you're saying, take some things off my plate, give it to our kiddos, because they are more than willing and able to do it, and it builds confidence for them. So win, win, win.
Win, win, win. That's it. Yes.
I love that so much. Well, Lori, I could talk to you forever. You are speaking my love language on all things habits and taking care of yourself. But where can everyone connect with you, listen to your show, and get a copy of your book and figure out their own superpowers?
Yes, absolutely. Secretsofsupermom.com is the best place to go. The book is on the website. The quiz is on the website. The podcast links are on the website. You can get everything there. And then on Facebook and Instagram, I'm Secrets of Supermom. So it's very easy to find. Yeah.
Awesome. I will link all that in the show notes as well. I'm going to go take the quiz. I'm curious to see what my superpower
Oh, you'll have to tell me. You'll have to post it.
Oh my gosh. Super exciting. So, well, Lori, thank you so much again for this conversation. I really enjoyed talking with you today. And I think the listeners today are going to they're probably taking furious notes right now, which I love.
I love it. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks.
Lori, thank you so much for this conversation. I was so excited for Lori to share her whole 30 story with me as well. That is just so exciting to hear someone else's own transformation just by taking care of themselves. Like, y'all, like, I'm not kidding when I say, like, taking care of yourself, it leads to like this huge snowball effect in your life. Like, Lori is proof of that, doing it on her own. And if you need some help doing that, I am your girl. Okay, gang, let's talk about my 3 biggest takeaways from this conversation with Lori from Secrets of Supermom. So number 1, filling up your cup is okay. Let's normalize it. So like Lori mentioned, so you are doing everything for everyone else, and your own basic needs get put last a lot of times. And I loved this quote so much that she said is, when you are better, you give better. Oh my gosh, let me say that again. When you are better, you give better. And doesn't your family and your friends deserve the very best of you? Absolutely. Absolutely. So when you are better, you give better. So let's normalize filling up your cup. Number 2, let's get ourselves out of that comparison trap. I love how Lori said it's the enemy of confidence, right? And I know that confidence is something a lot of ladies in our community struggle with. And I think we are all so quick to compare ourselves to other moms because we want to be a super mom. But what we mentioned before is you got to find what your own superpower is and lean into that. So what comes easy for you that doesn't come easy to others, that's how you can find your superpower. Like for me, obviously one of my superpowers is healthy habits. That is something that has come. Well, it didn't start out easy. It comes easy to me now, and I'm able to coach others through it because I've been on my own journey. But for others, that may not come easy to you, or your friend is really great at planning things or staying organized or keeping a super tidy home and leaning on your own girlfriends and their powers. And I love how she mentioned, when you do find yourself in that comparison trap, asking that person where you really look up to them and their superpower, ask them what they did to get there. And if you're like, ugh, no, I don't want to do that, then a lot of times that comparison will go away. Or sometimes that guilt you feel like where you're like, well, I feel guilty for not doing like what so-and-so is doing. Like that feeling will instantly go away when maybe you hear what they had to do, or maybe you'll be inspired to take action yourself. Okay. So get out of that comparison trap. It is the enemy of confidence. And then lastly, what truly brings you joy? Oh my gosh, I loved this suggestion so much from Lori to make a happiness list. And like we talked about, if you're sitting there thinking about, oh my gosh, I don't know what I could list for my happiness list, I feel like maybe you're not alone, friend. Maybe you could start with a habit inventory like we've talked about. See where all your time is going and see where you can start adding in little pockets of happiness habits, if you will, into your day to help you build that happiness list. It's going to really help you feel more gratitude. It's going to make you build that confidence up even more, and you'll want to make more room in your schedule for things that make you happy and truly bring you joy, and that is going to exude from you. And like we mentioned before, when you are better, you give better. So gang, all of Lori's Supermom secrets, her book, the podcast, her website, everything is linked in the show notes for you if you'd like to connect with Lori and check out her book. It's amazing. I love how she interviewed all of these ladies and just getting so much feedback, and probably a lot of common things come up. And I think a lot of times, like going back to that comparison trap, we compare ourselves, but I feel like as working moms, we're all more alike than what we think we are. So I'm cheering for you. I think you're a super mom no matter what, and I want you to lean into your own super mom power. Oh my goodness. All right, gang. So remember, go to the link in the show notes to join the community, to join us for our free mini training or mini workshop this Wednesday, the 11th at 12 p.m. Eastern. And come join the waitlist for the Habit Hacking Society. Ooh, I'm so excited for this. I'll be chatting with you a little bit more about it this Thursday on Habit Hack Thursday and giving you more details on an upcoming webinar. But go to the link in the show notes to get on the waitlist so you are the very first to hear all about it. All right, gang. You are super. You are doing the best you can, and I'm sending you all lots of love. I'll check in with you this Thursday for Habit Hack Thursday. Hey girl, real quick before you go, if you want some free motivation texted to you every week from me to help you habit hack your health, send me your favorite emoji to 773-904-2157 and sign up for my weekly pump up text. I can't wait to catch up with you there. Hey, and if you love the podcast, the number one way you can thank me is to leave a rating and review in iTunes. That way more mamas can also find the show. Then you can even email me a screenshot of your review and I'll send you either a Starbucks gift card or give you a free habit hacking call with me live on the podcast. Love and appreciate you, friend. I'll see you next time.